1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to.
Southside Pod!
Yes, we're on the air.
Southside Pod!
And the gang's all here, all things on the South Side. You're listening to the Southside Pod. Looking for the best Southside breweries. Or you might just need an awesome place to eat.
Southside Pod!
Mount Greenwood, Evergreen,
Southside Pod!
Blue Island, Beverly, Payless, and Allsup 2. You're tuned into the Southside Pod.
Southside Pod!
Oakland, Midlothian,
Southside Pod!
Oak Forest, Chicago Ridge, Flossmoor, and Bridgeview. You're listening to Southside Pod.
We're at Soundgrowler Brewing in Tinley Park. I'll be honest with you, John Streets of the Streets Arts Alliance. I've been here once or twice before, but I feel like I'm always here in the wintertime. I don't know how I never ended up in the back, like outside on one of the patios on a beautiful fall day. I'm welcome.
Well, thank you.
Welcoming myself here.
Well,
you're holding the event. I'm just here.
Yeah, I'm the curator, but
Right.
I'm also a drinker and a participant of the whole event. Technically, we are supposed to be in winter.
Yeah, we are.
This is winter, and this is the nicest winter day we could ever expect in November. You know what I mean?
It worked out well for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I would have had artists outside if I would have realized that it was going to be this nice.
Yeah, it's
But,
beautiful out.
yeah,
and you're doing a vinyl market. This is a new one for you. Like generally, you're a guy who does, I don't know, like dark arts, freaky weird things. Sometimes like some straight up craft shows. But vinyl market, that caught my eye because I was like, well, that's something new. I just imagine a bunch of people just hunkered over like boxes of records. It's not exactly that. You have a few setups where it's just boxes of records, but what makes this one different from like the normal markets you do around?
So this is 100% different than any of the markets that I've ever done. I've never once done a vinyl market before. And one of the things I noticed about this market in particular is that the vinyl searchers, the people that love the records and the vinyls. By the way, random aside, I got called a whippersnapper on Patch because I called them vinyl.
That's because everybody on the Patch is 104 years old.
I don't know about that. Come on, I advertise on them. That's not so.
Well, they run our show on there too, so I'm just joking around.
Oh, I know. But, it's one of the things is there's a line of 20 people that was waiting outside to enter this event because they wanted to search through those vinyl boxes.
People were lined up in advance.
Yeah, 20 people at least.
And what's funny is you have to think about it this way, that like they know they're coming in for records, but they don't know what records there are. They just want to get there and have first pick of them in case there's something good there. And it's like they must know what they're collecting. Like it's not like they have like, I got to get the White Album by the Beatles. I'm sure that's not at this market, right? Like I'm sure that isn't here. But I mean, it's not like they have something specific they know is going to be here. They just want to have first pick.
100%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but the really cool thing is I think 2 or 3 of the vendors that we have today that are selling just the records and the vinyl, they were here. Soundgrowler hosted their own market either a year or 2 years ago. I wasn't a part of it, so I don't know the exact details. But some of these artists are returning, and they're bringing new stuff, more metal, more punk, more this, more that, trying to appease the potential customers that they're going to have for today.
Yeah.
And I've talked.
That's what this is kind of here. Soundgrowler is a metal brewery. That's how I would describe them. This is a metal punk brewery, like the music selection, the way that
punk.
It's set up. You don't think punk?
I don't know. I know punk is really Soundgrowler, but I don't work for Soundgrowler.
Yeah,
it's just my interpretation of it.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of a punk guy myself.
Yeah,
loving NoFX. Like if I can get a NoFX record, I might get a record player.
Yeah,
just because I love NoFX that much. But I've always interpreted them as purely metal.
Yeah, they are definitely metal.
Yeah.
When you walk in, I feel metal.
But I think they're also kind of new age.
Definitely
where they
guitar-based.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's definitely banging on some drums.
They bring in some of the younger crowd that likes some of the more punk or the more alternative metal, the more whatever, pop.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you could just pick it out when you look at like the clientele when they walk in here. Okay?
100%.
I don't feel very cool, right? Like I walk in.
I mean, you are old.
I don't feel cool walking in here. I'm like, there are some cool people inside of this place. That's for
100%.
Sure. Yeah. So it's not just records though. I'm noticing that there's like some clothing that's in there, some different how do you curate this? Because that's the thing we talked about on the show before. You set up these markets, but then you're deciding like which vendors vendors do I want to have there? Like, how did you curate this? What was your thought process?
So I basically, in the application I put out there was, this is going to be a music-themed vinyl market. The primary goal of this is to have 5 to 7 vinyl vendors that are selling just the vinyl records, and then have a mix of artists that can kind of fit that theme.
Yeah.
You know, Jonathan Grimm art, Bologna Doodles, Lucky Eye Inc. These are all artists that make stuff nonstop and can totally fit that theme. You know, Lucky Eye Inc. has these keyboards that have sexy legs. You know, Jonathan Grimm is doing tabs of music sheets where he draws the artist from the band as an original. You know, and then you've got John Bologna and his wife that are doing very music artist themed artwork.
Right.
You know, all of that kind of really blends well with the vinyl theme of the market. And that's what I was looking for. Even like the candy vendors, KP's Candy Factory. You know, she made these, you know, she got some molds where she could do some musically noted things like the treble clef or the bass clef, you know, kind of formed into some chocolate-covered Rice Krispie treats on a stick. You know, all of this kind of goes hand in hand with just a nice music theme, vinyl theme.
Well, I think the place you picked, the brewery you picked, makes a lot of sense because they have. When I walk in here, I always can hear the music. It's very distinct what they do. They're artists. They like music, and then you're doing something that's very music based when you're doing it. And I'll let everybody in on this. John was telling me beforehand. He was like, "This thing's really blown up today. It's the first time I've done it." You were like really pleasantly surprised by the amount of people that are here. But I mean, I think people get into music. Like, you couldn't help yourself to tell me that you're a NoFX fan.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, I'm a NoFX fan. That's what I do. Like that's what I do. I listen to NoFX, right? You're like me when I sit there and I'm like, well, Weezer's here. I'm going to go see him. I like the older stuff better than newer stuff, but I'm going to go see him, right? Like, we all have like our acts.
Exactly.
And I think that's why this kind of thing resonates with people because, like, you get to go out and geek out and look for stuff that, like, you're into, right? I mean, we can hear the song a million times, but if I can get some kind of cool piece of artwork about a band that I love and put it in, like, my man cave, my bar, wherever I'm putting it, this is the kind of place where you're going to find it. So, and then people get to listen to music, check out music, drink some beer, eat some tacos. It's a home run.
It's a win-win as far as I'm concerned.
John is really maybe one of the luckiest guys on the South Side. He is. Like, you started doing these things, and you were like, you started doing these, and now all of a sudden you're like at a brewery like every weekend, sometimes 2 different breweries in a weekend, and you have these festivals, and you walk around with your shirts, your very loud Hawaiian shirts, and your tie-dye and stuff like that, and your jewelry that you have around you, and you drink beer, and you schmooze with people.
I mean,
and you run these things, and I think, like, seriously, like, I was telling my daughter before I sat down, I'm like, this guy literally found the greatest job on the South Side. He made it for himself.
When you put it that way,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
I am the luckiest guy in the South Side. And I don't necessarily want to say this on your podcast, but I'm not from the South Side.
That's
I'm
ridiculous.
from
Get
Villa
out.
Park, Illinois.
Get out.
You know, like, I probably shouldn't mention that, but I am. But I'm super lucky to be able to work with, like, you know, Hailstorm and Flipside and Soundgrowler to be able to do.
You do
these
so
kinds of
well with the
things.
ones that are definitely south.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about moving to Blue Island, or maybe Tinley Park, or maybe Orland Park.
Blue Island-
Never
Blue Island-
Evergreen Park.
I'm an evergreen, so you're messing with me. But
I am,
Blue
yeah.
Island is like those people out there. Like, that's a fun place. Like, if I were looking for a place to live, I'd be exploring Blue Island just because it's just so eclectic and there's so much stuff that's going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Tinley's got a great brewery scene, so I love this area around here. Like, you could really just get yourself lost in all the restaurants and the breweries and stuff like that. There's a couple of neighborhoods like I've actually checked off, and I'm like, if I left Evergreen, these would be on my list of places that I'd be going to.
On a completely random aside, I finally got a chance to
Get
check
random
out,
with me. We got a
Yeah,
beer.
yeah.
We're sitting outside. It's a
Bang.
beautiful November day.
Cheers to that. Amen.
What do you got?
I finally got the chance to check out Bang and Gavel in Tinley Park.
Okay, yeah.
That is the 4th brewery in Tinley Park.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that they had kind of a very soft opening where they just had some outdoor stuff going on for a while. But one of the bartenders over at Flipside, I was there earlier in the week. He said, yeah, you can definitely check out Bang and Gavel tonight. And they were open till 10, so I figured I'd swing over there and check it out.
I might go check that out. I got to see them in Evergreen Park a year ago. He was at a table for a beer fest that the library was putting on, and he didn't have a physical space yet.
Oh.
Basically. Like, he was, like, just starting. And I was like, I'm rooting for this guy.
So, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing this, but they're in the Vout House.
Okay.
It's right by the railroad tracks in Tinley Park. And super classy.
Really?
Inside.
All right.
The bartenders were super attentive, super pleasant. It made me feel like I was in a 5-star restaurant.
Okay.
Being inside there, I only had time for one beer, which right now they don't have any beers on tap. They just have guest beers. And it was just nice to be in there and checking out the scene. When I walked in on a Thursday night, it was packed. At least the bar area was packed. And that's a place I definitely want to check out again and maybe try some of their food items if
There
I
you
can come
go.
a little earlier.
There you go.
But to any of the Southsiders out there, I'd highly recommend checking out Bang and Gavel.
I think John Streets also wants to have an artisan market at Bing and
mean,
Gavel with that.
yes.
Like he's working
I
it
didn't-
right now.
you know,
he's like, I'm going to talk about Bing and Gavel, and then I'm going to tell him like, hey, I was on Southside Pod talking about you. Let's do a market there. I can see it. I know what you're doing.
I'm a man of opportunity, you know. I like all the opportunities, and that, you know, wouldn't it be wild to have, 4 shows in one weekend
Right.
at all 4 breweries in Tinley Park?
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
No,
You know what
that-
I think we should do? Here's what I think we should
Oh,
do.
no.
Let's do an artisan market, 4 different breweries in Tinley Park, and then let's have a Southside Pod bus
Ooh,
that brings people around on the bus,
Now
and
that-
we'll do it together.
that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Now we just have to get all 4 breweries on board with
Yeah,
that.
I think
but
we can get 'em.
I would host
I think
that.
we can get 'em.
It'd have to be in 2024 sometime.
That's fine.
So
I'm not
booked up
going
for the
anywhere.
rest of the year.
Yeah, I got nothing else to do.
But
yeah.
no, I'll talk to my people.
All right. You talk to your people. I'll talk to my people. John Streets has all these great artisan markets, and I literally just called him today, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the thing at Soundgrowler. Do you want to talk? I can bang out some content. We'll just have a beer together and talk about the vinyl market. I'm guessing you'll do another vinyl market after
Oh,
you saw this
100%,
thing.
if they'll let me.
What else do you have coming up, though? You got Krampus.
So
you got the Krampus market coming up in Blue Island, I know, in a couple of weeks.
1210 at
Yeah.
Blue Island Beer Company. I've got the Krampus market.
Krampus. Krampus. We had this conversation
yeah,
last year.
we did. And I still think it's Krampus.
It's probably Krampus.
Even though it's probably Krampus, but who cares? So that's 12:10 at Blue Island. I want to say this year is 12 to 6.
Yeah.
Other Southside shows I've got.
You got a
include-
Hailstorm one coming up here.
Yeah,
in Tinley.
Hailstorm on
Yeah.
11/12.
Yeah.
Their
Great brewery.
winter version of their Flurry Market. We did a complete rebrand on the marketing, so I've got some great stuff in the event page on Facebook if anyone wants to check it out.
They got a brand new Belgian over there. It's like
Ooh.
10%. It's spectacular.
You like the
I do.
high. You should be at
I do.
Fobab right now.
Yeah. Maybe I should be.
It's only today and yesterday.
I am my 17-year-old designated driver today. I'm just going to have her drive me to breweries. We were going to go to Costco, but now you're talking about all these breweries in the area. I think I'm just going to have her drive me around.
Well, there's
all day
nothing wrong
today.
with that. I don't have that, but I've got all this. But the Fobab, I got the opportunity to check out Fobab yesterday. Never been there before, but it's all the high gravity barrel aged beer. It's the Fobab stands for the Festival of Barrel Aged Beer.
Yeah.
And it's a magical event.
You're telling me that this is where I need to plan to go next year.
100%.
Okay, where is this at?
This is at the Credit One Theater or
Amphitheater?
Amphitheater,
Something like
whatever,
that, yeah.
whatever it's called in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Okay.
I had to resist to try all the amazing high gravity beers.
Oh,
that they had.
that's when you
Any-
have to have somebody take you home afterwards.
100%.
Oh,
or
yeah.
don't drive. Yeah,
Right.
Find a
Don't
friend that
drive.
lives in the area.
Don't drive.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
you can't find a ride, curl up in a ball and
Yeah.
sleep it off.
I'm
at
all
Fobab.
about drinking responsibly.
Right.
And this basically had over 100, I want to say 400 different beers. Don't quote me on that. Different barrel-aged beers from all these different breweries all across the United States. It's a giant festival. And I think around maybe 2 o'clock today, or again, I'm not sure. But sometime today they're going to announce the winners in all the different categories that they have. And then each one of those breweries is going to get more excited and more popular after that event because of the wins that they get at that particular event.
Yeah. John Streets is really, he's throwing an artisan market, but he's also telling you everything that's going on. Like this guy, he should have his own podcast. I don't even know why I'm here. He should just have his own podcast.
I'm an introvert. I can't do the podcast thing.
Yeah, you seem introverted for sure. All right, John Streets, we're at Soundgrowler. Check out the Streets Arts Alliance on all the
Please.
social media. Find out where they're going to be next. We talk about it on Southside Pod. I'll probably see you at Hailstorm. I know I'm going to see you at Krampus.
Oh.
I'm going to be at
Heck
that. I love that. Last year, Krampus walked up next to me and
Rumor has it Krampus is going to be returning.
Yes.
To join us at that
yes,
event.
you need to have Krampus there.
A new revived Krampus.
Oh, a different Krampus.
Not a different Krampus, but
Scarier Krampus? Bigger Krampus?
I don't know.
The real Krampus?
Perhaps the real Krampus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, prepare yourself for that. Only Blue Island would host the real Krampus. It seems like a logical place.
I don't know if I can agree with that, but
It seems like a logical place
yeah.
where Krampus
I mean, it's a
would
great
pop up.
place to be. You
It
definitely
is.
should go.
It is. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Chris.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod! Y'all come back now, you hear?